late age in my life.
2, 1.
Through the sober house, so like drive me around. I'll pay you.
Today, we would take a deep dive into the life of Richie Valor, from childhood to addiction to his success in the music industry. Join me as we take a deep dive into the life of this extraordinary individual who conquered unimaginable obstacles on his way from the depths of penitentiary and addiction to soaring heights in the music success. Get ready to be inspired, amazed, and motivated by his resilience, talent, and determination. Mr. Show Out TV.
Black on black, my beamer. Pull up loud, bitch, I'm no creeper. Walk up on you with the creeper. No mask gon' show you demons. Introduce you to my demon. I'm the one they think is acting. That's that militant I practice. Black on black, my beamer roaring. Pull up on you, bitch, you boring. They won't catch me, don't like orange. Black on black, this rope is corded. That's that black on black, that white boy action's foreign. Fucking dummies try to scorch me with no oven. Way too brown to quit your harvest. Scared of nothing, why you laughing? Yeah, my karma's coming. Blicky by my waist, got shot, I stab. So watch your mouth. No need for pickups, so my shells pop in the bag. Everybody wanna hate the man, cause the motherfucker always talking heavy in the way I see it, they don't think right. They skimming on the board like the way I'm right. Didn't know that it ran like that. Didn't really wanna go and rat like that. But the motherfucker coming with the bone punch bars. Had to take a shot of anger, put the gun punch out. Really gonna jack you up. Bring you to the bar, better level up. Come back with a DD sitting in the backseat. With your bad bitch, got a mouth full of PP. This is only intermission, bet you feel lame. Motherfucker better get you some fans. Baby ass fucking then spray you with a tank full of gas. There's levels to attack, and I am that man. I'm a whipping in the kitchen, yeah, I'm human, I had issues. Read all about it, yeah, I started on my story with some bad news. No robbing, no reply, now just dealing with the prick that I was issued. It's a bad light, kicking in my rear view. Yeah, I'm human, I had issues. 45, it always roll with me. Had to protect my life, goons froggy in my city. Had no sense, all day lily, couldn't catch me slipping. I was running for the belly track, crashing with some villains. Mama had no say, had to put food on my plate. Had to mask up for the safe, movie kept me from the grave. I thank my angels every day, protecting me inside my lane. R.I.P. to all the homies, reach some pearly gates. I had problems, I had issues. Now you kick it in the rear view. Kept in the race, on past the storm. Now there's a clear view. No more robbing, I had issues. There's a bad life kicking in the rear view. No more whipping in the kitchen, yeah, I'm human, I had issues.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. This is Sober Gang Experience Podcast, and I'll be your host for today. Is Mr. Show Out TV. Hey, watching that intro, watching that drop right there, I just did, just got me hyped. Y'all know him as Richie motherfucking Valor. I know him as my motherfucking brother, man. He finna give me his real down, true interview today. He has been on my podcast. He has been on this channel a few times. We have run them numbers up. So if this y'all first time to the channel, I would love for you all to go watch the recent interviews or the latest videos we did back in the day with Richie also. But today, we finna dive down deep. He finna give us his real story from childhood to going to the penitentiary to battling addiction to his music success. So we finna get right into it. What's up, bro?
Yo, what's up?
I can't call it, man. It's another beautiful day. It's another Monday. And for everybody out there right now, I would love for you. This is the time for you to hit that like button right now, because we finna dive in deep. And if this is your first time to the channel, please subscribe. So Richie, how was growing up for you, man? How was baby Richie, man? How was the family, man?
Shit. I can cuss on here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna front. So like a little bit of my portion of my life was all right. I mean, when as I was a baby, my dad left my mom, and we was struggling. My mom was trying to go man to man to man, trying to find somebody to take care of her and me, which was kind of weird. I mean, I was left in cars in a little child seat in a diaper in like 20-degree weather, and there's actually police document on that. I mean, my real dad had to come get me, and then I bounced back and forth, and then my mom ended up marrying this dude Merle, and they got into the church scene. Like some weird transition in life happened. We got all holy, and then he passed away when I was like 7, and we were supposed to be missionaries. I went to Christian school and everything. But when I was about 7 or 8, all that changed. My mom ended up marrying this dude, Dennis, who we didn't know was a crackhead, like on some real shit.
Right.
And he ended up beating my mom, bringing her to crack houses, and my mom would be stuck in the corner trying to preach the Bible to everybody. I mean, bless her soul for that. But she ended up getting in depth with drugs, and then I was always getting kicked out of the house at a very young age. My stepdad would beat me real bad. I remember one time, it's in one of my songs, which I'm going to be re-recording because now I have my studio and whatnot. I'll record on my phone. But I remember hearing someone crying at like 3 o'clock in the morning. It was my mom. And I came out, and I thought they were tears, and it was blood dripping from her face. Wow. And she was pregnant with my sister Faith, and so he was smoking crack, beat my mom up, and that's basically what I dealt with for a long time. I was like 16 years old when I got kicked out. I was living in the woods, believe it or not.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
All right. Well, so 16 years old, my mom banged my head off a wall over a Brad Paisley CD.
Right.
My little brother had gotten a Brad Paisley CD that I wanted, and it disappeared. And she thought I did it. I mean, I could understand. I was a little shithead. You know what I mean? Like, no doubt. Like, I was a shithead. But I did not take my little brother's CD. He actually ended up finding it under the bed later on in life and never told anybody. But anyhow, the next day I went to come home from school because she had kicked me out that night, and I went to the woods and I didn't know what was going on, but I had my some type of alarm on my phone or some craziness because this was like 2006. So we didn't really have the cell phone thing, and I was broke, you know. So I was in the woods and went to school. I went to come back home because I was like, maybe she's not mad anymore, and they were all my clothes. And if a man named Bobby Damaris ever sees this video, man, you're one of my heroes. And he was a homeless man, and wrote about him in English class and everything. But anyhow, he comes up to me and he's like, I don't like seeing that kind of stuff. And I was like, what? Like, he's like, those are your clothes? And I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, man, it's a week before Christmas. Like, what are you doing? You need to get right. I was like, man, I can't get right. It's my mom, you know? So he was like, all right, you're coming with me. So we went to the woods, almost same spot that I had gone, but like it was set up. Like we had a little kitchen area where we did a little grilling, and then we had, and this was in Florida, right? And then we had a little sink area and shit like that. And he would wake me up at like 6:30 to go catch the bus. And I would go to school. I had a girlfriend, so I'd be taking showers at her house and then go right back to the woods. So I was doing my studies because he was like, bruh, if you're going to live this life, you're going to have to live it, but you're going to get out of this life. You're going to be educated and you're not going to be dumb. And he's like, I don't want you to end up like me. And so I did that for a couple of years. And then I ended up getting a job at Subway and then moved in at a church, actually. My girlfriend's parents found out that where I was and like what I was going through. My girlfriend at the time, her name was Elena, and her parents set me up with this pastor. I went to a whole nother level.
So basically you was on the road to being like you was into church, right? I had backslid, and I'm not in the church now. Right.
You know, I'm sorry for all you Christians, but anyhow,
right, yeah.
But yeah, I was inside of a church, literally living, and the guy there, the pastor, was trying to teach me drums. But I played music before then and everything. Like I played piano, and I sang in the choir at Christian school. But I didn't think music was going to be my thing. I liked to fight, and I was in the streets, and I liked to shoot and shit, you know?
Right.
So anyhow, I was there for about a month working, you know. I ended up like throwing a party. And dude, it was the craziest experience of my life. I believe that there's a God, but I'm polytheistic.
Right.
And that God that was in that church did not like me that night. Brother, when I say doors were slamming, we were drinking upstairs, playing pool, girls were there.
Man.
Bro, it was bad. And then a week later, I just left. I was like, I can't have this anymore. So I ended up moving in with my buddy, Mike Cittadino. Big shout out to Mike Cittadino and his father, Big C. Mr. C. He was like, you give me $150 a week. You can sleep on the couch. You have to go to school and you have to do what's right. So I was like, all right. So me and that girl, Elena, started getting into it kind of, and we ended up breaking up. And then she ended up getting a boyfriend. I was on probation most of my life. So I was on probation at the time, and I went and beat up her boyfriend. Beat him up real bad. And then they sent me to jail. I got a violation, a whole bunch of harassment stuff, a whole bunch of them like PFA Jones, because I just was going on a whim, like, you ain't gonna take my girl, like blah blah blah.
That type shit, yeah. We're gonna take it back a little bit. How was high school? Was you introduced to music at school? How was going to high school? How was that like for you?
It was a little weird because being homeless, I would go and steal cars with my homies.
Right.
And so like I would come to school and smell like gas. I mean, I got bullied. I fought too.
Right.
I was a lot different. High school was weird because I had survival on my mind.
Right.
I didn't have the books in my mind. I was no dummy. I would do the little classwork, but like, I mean, I wasn't no A and B student.
You was in survival mode, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But high school, I did have a lot of friends in many different categories. I didn't just click up with like one group and be cool with the little baseball kids or the wrestling kids or anywhere. But high school was a little rough because nobody knew my situation. I kept it down low. I did smell like gas sometimes. I was dirty sometimes when I came to school, and I would get made fun of. I remember specifically this girl, I forget her name, and I won't shout her out, but she was like, you would be so much better looking if you had better clothes. And I just looked at her and I'm like, if only you knew.
Right. You don't even know the struggle. Yeah.
You don't know the struggle. So like, that's what I went through. I didn't get to do extracurricular activities. I snuck into homecoming. I didn't get to go to prom. I didn't get to do all these things, So it sucked, I was going to jail all the time. My mom, before I had gotten kicked out, being on probation in high school sucked because they like report to your probation officer. And if you do like 3 things wrong in the week and it gets sent to your probation officer, you go to jail. And then you got to deal with the judge. And then whatever happens, and where there was no set limit at that time. It's not like you go to jail, you do 30 days. No, like the judge could send you to a 6-month program, 8-month program, 12-month program. And so every week I would get out of jail. Boom, I'm back in. My mom would buy me cigarettes and then call my probation officer and be like, he's smoking.
Damn.
Yeah, and just a whole bunch of stuff. I lived in a dollhouse first. Second, my mom had a dollhouse, like DOLL, like a
dollhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had me sleeping in the backyard. Literally gave me a loaf of bread and a gallon of water. Swear to God, put down on my life. And told me, you're out here, you can't come inside. And she tried to say that I was too wild. Maybe I was. But I would never put a child in a dollhouse in the backyard. Like, it's just not happening. And so going to jail back and forth, I was going to programs, went to a little level 6 program called the Oaks. My boy he might be watching. He might watch it. It's Jonathan Garrett. He was in there with me. He went through the same kind of struggle. But throughout high school, that's what it was. Just jail, survival, getting made fun of by certain people, beating certain people up. Just crazy. Nothing that a child should go through.
Right. So basically, your upbringing, you was basically a lot of times you was in survival mode, trying to figure it out, trying to just find yourself, huh?
Always trying to find myself. And I always thought I had found myself, and I never did.
Right. Well, I got a couple questions for you. We're going to dive right into these questions.
Okay.
Can you share with us what inspired you to start creating music after your time in the penitentiary?
Before or during penitentiary?
Well, before, yeah, we could start like before. What started? Because I know you were saying you was into church and you was already playing instruments and things like that. So, did you get your creative identity from church, and that was led to your music, career?
No.
Right.
Drugs. I fought for a while.
the Juice WRLD the Juice WRLD thing.
Yeah,
I love the way Juice WRLD. We gonna get into. I love the way Juice WRLD brings you, because we all know the Juice WRLD, the rapper, who died from the overdose.
Course.
He got a lot of his pain through what he was doing. With the pain pills and the Percocets and things like that. So did you? I'm gonna rephrase the question. Did you get a lot of inspiration from what you was going through?
Yeah, I did. That's what it was all about, making a big comeback, to be able to say fuck you to my mom.
Right.
That was a big thing. So for 10 years, or not, for a while, for a long time, I fought, and I took a hit of acid.
Right.
And something in my brain switched, and it was like, you're not a fighter, you're a writer. And I always liked writing. Don't get it twisted. I wrote dumb poems and things like that. I was in poetry slams. I loved it. I loved English. It was my thing. But I kind of lost myself, and I was like, man, I thought I was going to be this famous fighter. I thought I was, really going to do that. And turns out that I didn't. And this girl, Amber Bergsman, and her mom, Lori, they were helping me find myself. And one day I was writing a poem, and I let her listen to it. And she's like, this is really good, but it sounds like rap. And I was like, for real? Like a rapper? I didn't even like rap. Right. So I was like, well, what's up? Right. So she's like, look up a beat on Pandora. So the first beat I ever heard was on Pandora. And I wrote to it, and I had rhythm to it, and I was poop. Like, don't get it twisted. Like I was garbage cans, Garbino, but I found it soothing, and I found it relaxing, and it took me out of this world, out of this reality. I always wanted to be out of reality. I never wanted to see me for who I was and what I went through and where I was. But the music took me out of it, because I could take my problems and put them on paper and then have other people listen to it. So then hopefully that somebody that had gone to something similar or even more could be like, all right, there's somebody else out here like that. Mm-hmm. So that's actually how I got into rapping. And then my boy Jason Zavala, I was going around looking for people to rap to. Dude, I was taking buses to Philly, just talking to random people, like, where a studio is. Mm-hmm. Finding someone with a backpack with a guitar or something on it. I'd be like, yo, tell me about music, blah, blah, blah. And so I started doing that. But my buddy, Jason Zavala, who is a very good friend of mine now, came into this diner that I was working at. I was third shift, 8 o'clock at night to 6 a.m. And he's my other buddy was with him, and he's like, yo, he's a rapper, and he goes by Wild Child. And he's like, what? So he's like, let me hear some of your music, like, for real. So I was like, all right. So I gave him the music, and he's like, send this to me, and I'll give you a call next week. And I'm like, all right, word. Next week, I'm like, man, this dude ain't gonna call me. So I'm off work. I just did it 8 to 6, and he called me, and he's like, yo, Wild Child, get ready. And I was like, what you mean? He's like, where do you live? I was like, what you mean, where do I live? He's like, I'm calling to pick you up, and you're going to go to a little meeting, and you're going to meet some other artists. I was like, oh, word. So he picked me up here. I didn't know it was like some record label thing. Right. And he had submitted my music, and he was a scout for them called Black Prince Entertainment, BPE. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we ended up going, and there's a group of people in there, and they told us all to like sit in certain places. And so then they also told people to leave and go to another room, and then told us who they picked to be in this one certain room. And I guess we were the chosen ones, you know?
Right.
And so they put me in the studio. They had me rapping. I wanted to sound like Eminem, all types of weirdness. And then I started doing shows, going to West Virginia, doing charity shows, started putting my image out there, started like, you know, getting into the lines of the industry of where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, networking.
Exactly. So I kept doing that. And then in 2016, I went to prison and lost it all.
Yeah, we go jump into that because I sure wanted you to expound on that a little bit. The prison life. I mean, how did that shape you? You know, can you reflect on a little bit about going to prison?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I lost everything.
Right.
Literally everything. I have a little boy. His name's Elijah. Lost him. My parents ended up trying to adopt him and adopted him. Took me away from him. I was on drugs real bad. I was on methamphetamines. Ended up wanting to just stay up all the time because I had a baby mom that had, you know, she was getting into it too. And I won't speak bad on her name because she's a respectful person nowadays, but before she wasn't. I don't know if she's still doing what she's doing, but I'm not going to put any bad name on it. But I realized I had to grow up. I couldn't be wild child no more, you know? The first morning I woke up, man, I remember just daydreaming, and daydreams in jail are crazy. And I saw myself as an old man on the street, homeless, not having nothing, and just hoping for the best. And you put hope in one hand and you put shit in the other, shit's going to weigh more, you know? And I took that and I was like, I have to change my life. I have to change the person I am. I can't do drugs anymore. I can't fight people anymore. I can't come out of pocket anymore. I can't do any of these things. And it was the most moving experience of my life. I cried. I prayed to whatever I thought would listen. And I started writing every day, writing about what I did, where I came from, how I could change it, and just kept going. And I realized that it was people, places, and things that really had to change somebody. So me being in jail, I was like, wow, I was just given a blessing. I can't look at this for all this negative. So every day I'd wake up and be like, all right, I'm alive. I still have a brain. I can still write. I can still talk about the things that I went through, but now I'm in this transitional period of trying to do right. And I didn't know what was right because I had a criminal thinking mind.
Right.
And so I just wanted to search for more ways to get better and to better myself because I wanted to be better for my son. I wanted to be better for my friends who are on drugs, which is another big thing that I'm doing now. And man, it sucked. As much as I make it sound great, it was probably one of the worst experiences I've had and one of the best experiences I had, from seeing people getting stabbed, from people getting taken over, if you know what I mean. And I told myself I never want to go back to that. And I want to be in the lives of others that are going through a hardship and that are doing really hard drugs and that do want to change, but they don't know how. Because I then got the knowledge because I transferred from county to prison. And it was a big transitional period there too. I grew up a lot. I wasn't this kid that was just in jail, you know, anymore. It was me going to prison doing these programs. And I didn't think these programs were going to work at first. I'm like, man, F this, whatever. And the first time I got almost into an altercation in prison, one of my teachers came into my head and was like, there's a ripple effect to this. Now, if you fight this man, you're going to lose your parole date. Or if you do get paroled, and you're also going to have everybody else in your life get hurt from it. My godmom, who was on my team, my biggest cheerleader, big shout out to Carrie Ann Denhays. She, you know, I called her every day and she's like, you know, you're going to get through this, blah, 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 blah. And then also all my other friends, like they were expecting me to come out. Now, what if I went to the bucket? That's another year gone. And so then I literally was like, you know what? You got that. And I remember my teacher being like, you don't have to win all these arguments. You're not going to know this man a year from then. Even if you were there for 2 years, he might get transferred. So why are you going to argue with this man? And that hit my head. And I was like, you know what? You got that. And I walked away, and it was the most exhilarating moment of my life. And I just wanted more of them, more. So then I came up with this concept that life's like a filing cabinet. You know, when you first start doing bad, you don't get in trouble right away. But you're filling your cabinet full of bad files, negative. So what you think you're going to pull eventually? You're going to get bad.
Exactly.
And then this is the part that I try to tell everybody that's battling addiction or battling a criminal life or just trying to get out of their gang life or something. Nobody is going to believe that you're trying to change because you filled that bad cabinet. All they know is bad files on you. You got to come square with the universe. You got to start doing good. You got to put all them good files in. You just got to keep pushing. And eventually you're going to open up that filing cabinet and you're going to get a studio. You're going to have friends that are engineers. You're going to meet Boosie Powell. You know what I mean? You're going to meet all these people and good things are going to happen. And the more that you put in, the more blessings you're going to get. So that's what I learned. And that's what I came from prison.
Bro, I really love that, man. Because one thing about it, y'all, this is your first time to the channel. Make sure y'all hitting that like button right now. We got Richie Valor in the building, man, and he's sharing his story. One thing I like about it, since I been talking to you, man, and you've been on my platform a couple of times, and I kind of started with you on my journey in recovery. You know what I mean? Right. One thing I have learned, and I'm gonna hit on exactly what you said, is that I have met so many important people in my life now since I went on this road, this journey, man, and it's amazing the people that I am introducing myself to, in context with, because of this journey of recovery and sobriety that I never imagined, man. It's awesome. This shit right here is awesome. We're gonna continue though. We're gonna continue. How did your experience with addiction shape the themes and messages in your music?
Well, Crash Site is one of them. And Stressing is definitely one of them. Stressing's a big time one of them. At that moment in my life, I wrote Stressing. I was stressing. I was just, me and my ex-fiance had broken up. I was living in a hotel and I still wasn't doing drugs, but there was druggies running around. So I was like, I got to write. I got to stay going. And I talk about as a youngin', I was running, finding trouble, looking for them licks or a dope boy to fumble. Fed up with the struggle, face down in a puddle. Had to change it up. I was stressing. I was humbled. So that was the whole point of like, man, I was robbing dope boys. I was doing yayo. I was doing meth. And I was ended up face down in a puddle, you know? And I will always talk about my addiction. And I will always talk about my past struggles. And I don't care who gets mad about it. I've had parents get mad at me, tell me, stop talking about that around the family. I'm like, who are you to tell me not to talk about my past, you know? So that's all in my music. My music, it's my story. It's completely what makes my theme. It's what makes Richie Valor. Because as Wild Child, changing to Richie Valor, I had to have strength and courage to go by my real formal name. Valor's not my formal name. And if y'all research me, you can find it out. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. That's for y'all.
Don't do it on the live right now.
Right. That's for y'all.
Yeah, y'all got to research that.
Yeah, but as Wild Child, I was wild to the world, but a child to myself. Right. But I had to have strength and courage, Valor, to be Richie. So from Wild Child to Riches, Richie Valor.
I like this shit. Yeah. How has your past influenced the style and genre of music you have chosen to pursue?
Well, I could talk that hard ass shit.
Right.
I'm a rapper.
Right.
But I'm not just a rapper. I'm an artist. Don't get it twisted, because I play guitar. I mix and master my music. I do country music. I do pop punk music. I do any genre of music. Any emotion that I have at that time is what I'm going to play. And a lot of my emotions do come from my past. I get to thinking. I get spaced out. And the girl I'm with now, man, she's a blessing. I get so spaced out, I don't even realize it. And she snaps me out of it. She's like, Richie, like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, oh man, I was thinking about the past. She's like, the war is over.
Right. I love that right there.
So like, everything I talk about is from my past, and it's copacetic with the rap world. You know, you got all bunch of different types of multi-genre rappers nowadays, which is dope because you'll put rap with rock and all of this, and they all talk about their own little thing. And my thing is my past addiction to drugs, me talking that shit on people that talk shit and aren't about it. Like, that's my big thing. I got two sides of me. I got my, I'm low down. I'm all about the struggle. I'm all about getting past the struggle. And I'm also about like, yo, bro, I know you bullshitting.
Right.
Because I don't see death in your eyes. I've been there. I've seen it all. And when I hear someone talking that bullshit, bro, I'll call you out quicker than fuck. So that's
you got one of them 0 to 60 real fast.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. That's what I love about you. Can you discuss how your music has played a transformative role in your life, and has it helped you overcome your situations?
Yeah. So, like I said, I noticed when I got into the rapping thing, it became therapy to me. And then I kind of lost sight of it. But then when I transitioned out of prison, it was just therapy to me. Like, I got upset, I'd write. It grew me. Like, as I'm writing, I'm learning about myself. I'm like, oh, wow, I went through that. What can I do to change that now? Well, let's talk about it. This is how we can change it. And I'll put it into my music. And also, like, you can hear the difference. If you go listen to Wild Child, W-I-L-D, Sage Y-L-D, into the transitional point of Richie Valor, you're going to hear a little ass kid into a grown ass man dealing with real life situations and just growing from it, and the more I write and the more I do this music, man, I find even more about myself. So it's always a learning game for me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Hey, you're doing a wonderful job too, Richie, man. You just keep that shit up, bro.
I'm trying.
Yes,
trying.
Sir. What topics or emotions you try to convey through your music?
That's a good one. Well, pain, anxiety, the struggle. I talk about not having nothing and making something out of nothing, because I really had nothing. I've really made something out of nothing. That's like song Into Something. Once for the ones that didn't have nothing. No. Big topic for me. Just the struggle, getting out of the struggle. That's me.
Have you found that it's on your personal journey that resonates with your audience?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me say that back. There you go. Have you found that your personal journey resonates with your audience? And if so, in what ways? Big time. Actually, the most beautiful thing is when I get somebody telling me what their favorite song is by me and tell me why and what they're going through. Right. Like Fate, Drag Vega. I love that one too, man. That Fate, man. I love that one. Thank you. So Drag Vega, he's a comedian. You should definitely look him up. He's awesome. He hit me up and he's like, dude, I love Fate because it makes you Richie Valor. Like the things that you went through, I went through, and he can relate. And that's what I get a lot of the time. I try to make relatable topics of everything that I've went through. And that's where I want my crowd. So like my crowd will hit me up and be like, yo, my favorite song is Stressing because I'm always stressing. Or my favorite song is Into Something because I've made myself into something from nothing. So yeah, man. And it's the best feeling in the world when they do that, by the way. Because that's what this music's all about. My mentality is to help. And if I'm helping you by listening to my song, I love you. And I appreciate you listening and taking the wisdom that I got from life and trying to put it into your own life. Dope answer, bro. Dope answer. How do you use your music to inspire and motivate others who may be struggling with similar challenges? How do you use your music? Yeah. Okay. So
and Into Something. I always go to Into Something for that. For my second verse, it's like, yeah, I found myself in a cell with a mirror that was scratched. Can't make moves without some plans. Gotta play life like chess. So I'm giving them knowledge. Gotta find out hustle. Gotta make your base. Gotta know your friends. As long as you good on all those steps, and you always be 3 ahead. So I'm telling them like knowledge, and if they really pay attention, it's like, dude, I found myself in a mirror that was scratched. And if you've ever been to jail, you know that mirror, you ain't gonna, you know.
That reflection is a motherfucker, man.
Yeah. And so I tell people, man, you got to know your friends, you got to know your hustle, and you got to have your base. Because without all those, you are nothing. And you'll always be 3 steps ahead if you have it. It's like chess. You got to move like chess in life. Because if you're not moving like chess, man, you're playing checkers and you go get jumped.
Are there any particular artists that you know, trying to mimic of in your journey?
That's a good question.
Let me play it back. Are there any particular artists or musicians who have significant influence on your artistic journey?
I like that question, Boosie. I like it. I know what you're saying. There's several.
Okay.
So let me think. MGK.
Right. Yeah. That's my boy. I fucks with MGK.
All right, so that's one. That was when I was like first getting into it. You know, I wanted to rap fast. I thought it was cool, but then I liked his journey. I liked his struggle that he portrayed. You know, for that, Rod Wave.
Oh yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I like
Rod Wave. Right,
he's dope as fuck, man.
As fuck. Dude, so. Dope. Issues was inspired by Rod Wave because I'm like 45, it always roll with me, had to pretend my life going froggy in my city, and he like sang with it, and I love that chop but like swag, and
they look greedy, the gritty part of it.
And I was like, I love it and I can do that, but I want to make it me. So like I took that kind of like singing stuff and I put it to myself. And then Lil Baby has that melodic flow I use a lot.
Right.
J. Cole.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
For my deep shit. Like
right.
He's just somebody I can listen to when I'm in a bad mood. Eminem, when I was Wild Child. Eminem was definitely one of those. You know, there's an artist that you might not have heard of, but he was with Rhymesayers, and his name's Blueprint. I loved how he got up on stage and he could play all his music and still rap and do all of that. And that's something that I really want to get into. By the way, I do have a drummer that's going to be on my set. I'm going to be headlining August 19th. So I have a drummer from Pariah. Dope drummer. But so I'm trying to get the musical side in there. And then there's more. Joyner Lucas. Joyner Lucas is a dope artist just because of how real he is. Like he's not trying to break into mainstream, but broke into mainstream in a way, you know? So that's definitely one. But there's all sorts. Music side, like instrumental side, Polyphia. I want to be able to get into them. If you guys haven't heard of them, they're like a instrumental band. And then for other types of singing stuff, you're gonna laugh at me, but Pigeons playing ping pong.
Elaborate on that one. Let the viewers know what you're talking about.
All right, so they're funk, real funky, like modern day funky, and they got great music, great music. I love how they're always in the pocket. I love the singer. I love where he brings his highs and his lows and he alternates them and stuff, you know. So yeah, that's a good collection of artists that I try to portray, but then at the same time, I'm like, you got to be Richie Valor. Right. So I do have my own like little singing style and my own little thing that if you listen, you'd be like, oh, that's Valor.
Yeah. That, you know, when my kids be listening to it, he sing too. I'm like, yeah, he's dope.
Oh, that's awesome. I love when the kids get to listen and
they know it. I got Richie. He's up there. I talk about your ass all day.
Oh,
how has your music impacted your own healing and personal growth?
You're asking some good questions. Where you getting there? These AI questions. You coming up with these questions?
Hey, I'll be writing them down, man. Honestly, I write them down before, like last night. That's what I do. I write them down. I think about who I'm interviewing, and I just write them.
Good question. Okay, so yes, it makes me feel better when I get better. So if you listen to Wild Child, you're gonna be like, oh, he was booty. And then if you listen to my stuff now, you'd be like, oh, whoa, there's growth there. Not only because I get better, but I'm putting more of an impactful statement. I have more to talk about, and it's there. You can hear it. With my mix, not just my mix, like the way that I'll get onto a beat and sound different from another song that I'll do, but it's still me. And I grow as I get better, not just because of ego, but because, like, motherfucker, that's me. Like, I'll play that, and people, the first thing someone says, instead of saying, like, I've now transitioned from that's a cool beat to is that you?
Right.
And that feels good. And I like hearing myself, dude. I'll play my music 50 times over, and my girl be like, why are you doing that? And like all my friends, everybody be like, you listen to yourself too much. I'll be like, I know, because that's me.
Right, you're right.
If you sounded like that, would you do it too?
Exactly. They don't understand the process of, because of me being an artist myself, man, listening to yourself, be like, damn, why you, because you like to hear, like, damn, I actually did that type of vibe, especially as you see, you up there now, see, you messing with a lot of instruments, and you got the real sound quality behind you, and I bet listening to your shit, you be like, man, damn, I wrote that shit last night, man, damn.
Right.
Yeah, that should be dope. So I understand that feeling.
Growth. That's growth right there, you know?
Yes, sir. Have you faced any challenges as an artist due to your past? And if so, how have you navigated through them?
Jeez, dude, you're good. Yeah. My past haunts me every day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't want to do drugs. Point blank. And also people of my past. The first thing they jump to when they don't like me, or if I say something crazy, they're like, you're just a meth head. Oh, you're on that za. Or you're all messed up, or you'll never change. And especially my parents, man, the biggest thing that hits me is my parents. I don't have a good relationship with my father, and I don't have a good relationship with my stepdad nor my mom. My parents are Brian Denhaze and Carrie Ann Denhaze because they are the only ones in my life up to this point that have known me back then that knew that I was going to change. And my parents, they still tell people I'm smoking meth, and they still tell everyone I never changed. And my dad, you know, he always tries to pit on my downfall. Like, he's always waiting for me to fall.
Right.
And he never gives me that acceptance ever. So yeah. And how did I maneuver around it?
Yeah, how you navigate through that?
I go like that.
Yeah, say fuck them.
Fuck them. If you don't want to be here now, wait until I get somewhere, because I'm starting to grow.
Yes, you are.
So, and that's just what it is.
Man, from coming from where you coming, man, and you basically telling me you had to basically fight your entire life, bro. Your transition and your growth and your journey, man. You beat, you know what I'm saying, the situation that was laid in front of you. So you overcome a lot of boundaries. A lot of people would have gave up and just chose to, you know, I'm finna be a fuck people up, beat people up, fuck this penitentiary life. This probably what I'm finna do the rest of my life. You chose to go an opposite direction. You know what I mean? You chose the artistic way out. Yes. And I mean, that can inspire and motivate a lot of people, because a lot of people are going through the same situation right now. So that's awesome right there. We finna get into some music, y'all. We finna get into some of his music. I'm gonna play this right here, and we're gonna talk about the day you performed this, and we're gonna get into the song.
Wait, one thing. Yo, A-OK Classic. I love you, bro. I love you, twin. Billy, motherfucker. Will, I love you, bro. Hey, Jack Vega, I love you, bro. And I love anybody that I haven't mentioned.
Yeah. Hey, was them the ones in the background?
No, that's actually Tritone. Big shout out to
they was
Tritone.
I give me chills every time I watch it.
Listen, big shout out to my record label. Bro, Big shout out. So KFC, Ryan Fields. Oh shit, I'm using the real names. Okay, so Smoke, KFC, motherfucking Ego. Big shout out to Rebel Spaz, fucking motherfucking Young Homies, Izzy, dude. They accepted me with open arms. They were like, "Come on, Richie Valor, get in this group. Like, let's go." Richie Dylan Hunt, and then Tylen, and then everybody, just everybody. I did one show with them. They wanted to see what I was about, and KFC came up to the label owner. Comes up to me and he's like, "Yo, do you want to do a show tomorrow for Dirtball from Cottonmouth Kings?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I ain't got no money. I ain't got like." He's like, "I didn't ask you that." He's like, "I just want to see if you want to perform."
Right.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And they let me go. And then he came to me and he's like, "Yo, you still want to be part of Tritone?" I'm like, "You're goddamn right. I want to be part of Tritone."
Yeah.
So, bro, I got to open up that show. I opened up for Violent J, Ouija Mac, and Isham, and that's Psychopathic Records. And since then, man, we just keep growing, and we butt heads like a motherfucker, but I love them.
Right. We're finna get into it right now, y'all. If y'all watching right now, we're finna play this video, and I would love for y'all to make sure you hit that motherfucking like button and subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. It's Mr. Show Out TV, Richie Valor. Let's go.
Creeper, walk up on you with the cleaver. No mask gon' show you demons. Introduce you to my demon. I'm the one they think is acting. That's that militant I practice. Black on black, my beamer roaring. Pull up on you, bitch, you boring. They won't catch me, don't like orange. Black on black, this rope is corded. That's that black on black, that white boy action's foreign. Fucking dummies try to. I'm a whippin' in the kitchen, yeah, I'm human, I had issues. Read all about it, yeah, I started on my story with some bad news. No robbing, no applying, I'm just dealing with the brick that I was issued. It's a bad life, kicking in my rear view. Yeah, I'm human, I had issues. 45 and always roll with me. Had to protect my life, goons froggy in my city. Had no sense, all day lily, couldn't catch me slipping. I was running for
So, on the first song, what inspired you to write that one? Because that one was crunk too. And then I love the way you switched it up, and when you got your melodies and your, hey, yeah, we're gonna talk about the first one though. What inspired you to drop that one?
That is called KTTS. So that's called Keep Talking That Shit.
Okay.
So I say black on black, my beamer. Pull up, loud bitch, I'm no creeper.
Wordplay, yeah.
And then I say, no mask on, show you demons. I'm the one they think is acting. That's that militant I practice. Black on black, my beamer roaring. and then I'm like, black on black, this rope is corded. I say something about they won't catch me or pull up on you. They won't catch me. I don't like orange. And then I'm like, black on black, this rope is corded. Black on black, that white boy's action's foreign. Well, a lot of people have been talking cash shit to me, dog. I got put into this Juggalo group right before the Three Kings show with ICP. And I had this dude hit me up and he was like, wow, they must have scrubbed the bottom of the barrel if you're going to be performing. And he's like, your ass, I perform better. All right. He goes, I recorded better when I was homeless on my phone. And I was like, oh yeah, cool, bro. And then I had a lot of people hit me up like, your ass, this and the third. I had some gatekeepers. My ex, I ain't even gonna talk on that. I ain't gonna give no glory to nobody. But I just had a lot of people talking that shit to me. So in the beginning of the song, it's like, I got some fuckers inside of the DM. They talking that shit all on my dick. Taking my reins and pulling them back. So hold your horses. I know some people that starving their pigs and feeding them corpses. Watch how you talk in the valley. Your family end up with some portions. The internet made all your fingers have muscles. Can tell by the antics that you never dated the struggle I made in my bitch. We sat and we tussled. A villain and I'm in disguise. I've been on petty shit staying alive. You ain't seen death, I can tell in your eyes. So like, that's just for everybody like out in Dayton and just talking that shit. Like, you're going to keep talking that shit, but I'm going to make it somewhere. And then you're going to wish you weren't talking that shit.
Right.
So keep talking that shit. And,
so somebody told me, man, as long as they talking, you doing something good.
Exactly.
It's when they ain't talking. That's what you need to worry about. When they ain't talking.
Yeah, exactly. And then I've had people tell me that my music just was trash. I'm a trash artist. I'm a wannabe pop punk artist.
No, man. Just stay in your lane and do you. Don't even worry about that, man. Yeah, don't worry about none of that. You just continue to do exactly what you're doing because that formula is working. And I'm formula because I'm gonna let you know this. Them people that is telling you that, they know, they hear that shit. They hear that shit just like I hear that shit. That shit give me chills, goddammit. And they know exactly when they hear good music, but they ain't gonna tell you that. But then in the back of their mind, they secretly watching the motherfucking video. They secretly listening to your shit. They ain't gonna tell you that, but they secretly listening to it. What inspired you to drop the second one? A little, melodic, little laid back.
It goes, so it's that's issues, my past issues. I wanted to talk about them. So I was like, how can I convey this in a song? So it's like, it starts off, it's like 45, it always roll with me. Had to protect my life, goons froggy in my city, had no sense off they lily, couldn't catch me slipping. I was running for the millie track, crashing with some villains. Mama had no say, had to put food on my plate, had to mask up for the save. Twilly kept me from the grave. I thank my angels every day protecting me inside my lane, man. RIP all the homies reached them pearly gates. I had problems, I had issues. Now they kick it in the rear view. So past the room, kept in the race. So past the storm, now there's a clear view. No more robbing, I had issues. There's a bad light kicking in my rear view. And so it's just basically me being like, I'm leaving the past behind. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to look at that mirror and everything that's back there, it's kicked back there. No more issues. I've dealt with and issues. I put like a kind of like a wordplay to it. So here, look, I'll read it out because it's dope. Right. I say there's a bad light kicking in the rear view. No more whipping in the kitchen. Yeah, I'm human. I had issues. So issues is like a newspaper. So I said, read all about it. Yeah, I started off my story with some bad news. No more robbing, no more plotting. I'm just dealing with the print that I was issued, meaning life. Mm-hmm. So I say, so there's a bad life kicking in the rear view. Yeah, I'm human. I had issues. So I did that. And it's just basically about my issues in the past. And I'm going to leave them in the past. And a big inspiration for that song. She might not know it, but her name's Bethany. It's my girlfriend. She's the greatest girl I've ever been with. She's a veteran. She's ex-Navy. She fought for our country, which I respect for her so much. Yes, big time. And sometimes I feel like she doesn't get enough credit. That's for her story to tell, but I respect her fully for it. She's a good woman, and she's always telling me like, yo, leave that shit in the past. Like, you got to write happy music. You got to do this. And I was thinking about her when I was writing this, and I was like, you know what? I should do that. Let's talk about my issues in the rear view. The war is over, So
I like that shit, bro.
Thank you.
I mean, you're doing very good, man. But I ain't gonna spend too much of your time. We're gonna end it up like this, Richie. You are like my brother from another mother, bro. I respect you, and I love your journey. Thank y'all, if y'all out there watching right now, this is the Sober Gang Experience podcast. I'm the host. You don't need to go no motherfucking where else to find addiction content, because this is the channel right here you should come to every Tuesday at 1 p.m. We go live with my guest panel of speakers, Addiction in America, with my cast of guest speakers. Make sure you tune in with us every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And make sure you hit that like button. And most of all, subscribe. Become a member of our family. Join us. Grow with us. That's what I would love for you guys to do, to grow with us. Learn each person that speak on my panel. This is like a family. And I would love you guys out there to become a part of our family as well. This is the Sober Gang Experience podcast. And I'm interviewing Richie Valor. Richie, is there anything you would love to tell an aspiring artist or somebody that is battling with addiction right now, or that is going through some shit that just need a little motivation?
first off, I want to say I love you, brother, and I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you.
And everything that you're inspiring people to do. You inspire me as well. But on that topic, keep going. Don't stop. You might be booty now, but I promise you'll be boobies then.
Right.
Listen, don't let people bring you down. Invest in yourself. The biggest thing in this game is investing and truly believing in yourself. Even if you are ass, get on that stage and show your ass. Don't stop, man. It gets better. I promise it gets better. At first, it's going to suck. Just keep going. Get you a studio. Stop bullshitting with the band lab. Quit bullshitting with the phones. Get you a studio. Pay you like $3,000 some. Invest. Save that shit up, because I promise you'll find yourself on that journey if you have a studio. There
it is, everybody. It's Richie Valor, my brother from another mother. If y'all tuned in all the way here, we finna go on sign out. But I would love for y'all to make sure you hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the motherfucking channel. This is Richie Valor in the building, Mr. Show Out TV. Till next time. Yeah. All right, bro.
All right, bro.
Yes, sir. Man, y'all, we cannot make this up. Thank you, Richie Valor, for tuning in with me, man. I'm telling y'all, that is like my brother from another mother. For real, though. He has seen my journey. He has been with me, man. He has been on my channel before. We got 2 videos already. I interviewed him twice already. But this one was the full breakdown. I never just got into his life. You know what I mean? So I would love for you guys to go take the time out right after this video to go check them 2 out as well. But if this is your first time to the channel, I'm needing y'all. This is what I need from you guys to do. I need y'all to start hitting that subscribe button. I need y'all to start sharing this out here. I need this from you guys. We need to get this platform out, and we need to inspire and motivate people, man. We doing this 1 episode at a time. If I can inspire somebody in addiction right now, if I can just inspire 1 person, I'm doing my job. This is Mr. Show Out TV. Till next time. Yeah.
Welcome to Mr. Show Out TV Recovery and Addiction YouTube channel, where we hope to inspire those battling addiction. Please subscribe and like the channel. Make sure you click the notification bell to get notified whenever we broadcast. Thank you and enjoy the show. To support the channel, you can send donations to Cash App $Mr. Show Out TV. So please don't wait, subscribe now. Together we can help and give inspiration to millions of people.